we have Pepe.Vote.
Hey now, we are Team Pepe.Vote. You might recognize us from last year. We're the team that brought you Satagrams. And while that may have been a more technical project than what we've got for you this year, sometimes simpler is better. And we brought this down to the human level. And there's nothing more primal than emotions. And what a better way to bring out emotions that can be expressed by Pepe the Frog. So what we brought you here is Pepe.Vote, powered by Nostr. So what I'll first do to demonstrate on this plain page is to log in. It'll prompt me for my Albi extension, and I will connect with it. So that will log me in. And now this brings me to a page where I can actually vote on images. And so up pops a couple Pepes. If you're familiar with hotornot.com, where you can compare images and select which ones interest you more, I'm more of a tinfoil hat kind of guy, so I'll choose him. Of course, it'll prompt me to do that as well. Let's see. I like the left. And shotgun is always appealing to me. So go with that. Well, we've demonstrated the ability that you can choose to vote. Well, let's see what other people have said. So my votes count towards a global leaderboard of votes. And so all of these vote counts are tallying Nostr events of other people's votes. So we have a global list of what people were interested in. Of course, it turns out Pepe being armed is the top two images, and FBI Pepe happens to be the least interesting. So you really gain a sense of what people are interested in. Pepe is just a very simple way to demonstrate kind of a grander vision of what you can do by empowering people to vote either anonymously or publicly by associating their NPub in the event to get a feel of what people are interested in. And then of course, there's other ways to take this further, which I'll pass this over to Vic to talk about.
So I'm Vic. Just real quick before I get into this, just by show of hands, how many of you are using Nostr today? And do you have a extension set up on your laptop or mobile phone? All right, so you can actually go to Pepe.Vote now and actually give this a whirl to contribute to the leaderboard. But as far as like potential features that we could extend this with, you've got your own follow list, and that maybe you want to restrict it to just those leaderboard results to be only those that you follow, or perhaps your web of trust. Another possible enhancement would be, I'm a big proponent of lists in Nostr. They're underutilized, but it's going to be a big thing going forward. You define your own lists, perhaps lists of people, these are pub keys or events, but generally pub keys that may be part of your local family or organizations. Maybe you've got a list of church members, you want to find out of these individual lists, which Pepe's rank the highest. So good filtering capabilities is a potential extension point here. Another thing we'd like to do is the zapping component. So zapping being one of our Bitcoin tie-ins. Right now that's available at the bottom of the page where you can just zap the devs, but we look at this as a potential to have each individual image as they're submitted by creators. That could be zapping those individual creators themselves. So this would be like future collections. Maybe you've got a meme competition, maybe you've got a photography by different submitters, and you want to allow people to selectively reward those. So there's all kinds of potential ways that this can be enhanced, because Nostr is just a vast way. It's a bunch of like little Lego building blocks that we're just putting together. So I really like where we can go with this. You want to talk to the technicals?
So we went pretty simple with this one. If you are able to look at the repo, you'll see that it's just an index.html file. Eventually, we will probably need a caching server to show the leaderboard, but at the moment it's just pulling from the relays that we're connected to directly. And we've defined in the index.html file the relays that we have published all of these images to. We're pulling those down and then allowing you to vote, and that's a separate kind. So there's two kinds here. We have the kind 3939, which is used to store the images, and that's how we get the URL to display them. And then we have another kind, 1212, that holds the actual vote that you make. And so the hope is we can use that 1212 kind to possibly also be a zap, perhaps. There's a lot of avenues we can go with this, and since it's just an index HTML file, it's very easy to go and host this somewhere for anybody else that wants to create a site like this.
Where are the images?
The images, we used Nostr.build. We used kind 3939, which is reverse leet speak for Pepe. I think that caps off our 5 minutes. We'll take some questions.
Cool, very cool idea. And the kind vote is a new kind, right? It's not the zap poll. Yeah.
So each individual vote is a kind 1212, and that's actually an homage to Homestar Runner, scroll button 1212, if anybody's familiar with that.
Cool. Is there an idea to take that primitive and try to build a nib off it that could get adopted into other clients? Because I can see this voting primitive being very useful beyond just this application, obviously.
Potentially. I know that I'm also a proponent for zapless polls in general. I've been wanting to see that added to something like Amethyst, so I'm not sure where we exactly stand on that. I've actually got an open bounty out for that. Whether it takes on this kind number and is implemented this way is anyone's guess at this point.
Yeah, so you guys did satagrams last year, and then you're doing the Pepe this year. Is there any kind of like, do you see anything kind of putting those two things together in a way that lead to something really special?
You want to speak to that, Bob?
I think the simplest thing, for the last year or so, I've been bothering, some people get bothered by satagrams, some people like them. I like the free stats. But what if we had a button right here that allowed you to send out Pepe holding a firearm to 30,000 people? That would be the easiest integration. So, hey, you can repurpose that to your image here. So whether that's a Domino's at Super Bowl halftime 50% off coupon, or it's a link to my OnlyFans. Whatever it is, you put it there, and then that's how you merge the two things together.
I think that's it. Did you have any? No? Okay.
Thanks, everyone. See you next year.
Vote often, vote every day, keep voting. This is the most important election that matters.